Good afternoon, and thank you for joining in. I hate that we couldn't be together at the Neshoba County Fair, but at least we're inside with air conditioning, or I wouldn't sure be into this coat and tie today if we were at the fair. Appreciate y'all politics allowing us to come in inside and due to COVID-19 to do this recording, to speak with you for just a few minutes about the issues that are in our state right now and what we're working together to work through during this pandemic and all of the issues that are concerning Mississippians as we have seen our lives change over the last 6 or 8 months, more than I think we ever could have dreamed. There's an old saying that you should light a candle where you are rather than curse the darkness. And I feel like at this time in state government in Mississippi, that's the mantle that all of us who are in elected office should be taking. We should do something where we are. We should do something in the offices that we hold to help advance Mississippi forward, stronger, better, tougher, healthier as we come out of this pandemic, and we know that we're going to come out of this pandemic. At the Public Service Commission, one of the main priorities that I have had for the last several years has been an issue of connectivity in Mississippi, making sure that every home, every business, every family, every child has access to high-speed internet service no matter what their zip code is, whether they live in downtown Jackson or rural Etowah County. We've got to make sure, as we win the future for Mississippians and come out of this pandemic, that we fix the connectivity issues in Mississippi and bring high-speed internet service to everybody in our state. Now, many of us have talked about this issue over the last several years, but the pandemic has shown in stark and upfront, close and personal, really detail how deep the digital divide is in Mississippi, how we know that in a moment's notice our entire world changed and children had to go from education in a classroom to online education. Many doctor's visits went from going to a clinic or to the hospital to actually going online for telehealth and telemedicine. Workers, not only just those in the public sector, but in the private sector also, went to telecommuting. And over the past 6 to 8 months, broadband connections, or the lack thereof, have been a major issue in Mississippi. Having a connection to the outside world, to participate in the modern world, has been a lifeline for our people throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, and we know that now. The jury's returned a verdict. We shouldn't spend another minute in Mississippi trying to convince someone that broadband access is a necessity and not a luxury. The facts are here. The facts are here. And as we go forward in our role at the Public Service Commission, that is going to continue to be my #1 priority, because we know for certain that one of the things that held us together and kept life somewhat normal has been the ability to actually do homework online, to actually telecommute from home and still maintain your job. But there are people in Mississippi today that will go to the McDonald's parking lot to download lectures for college coursework, for high school work that's going to be coming up this fall. We know that there are folks that have to drive to their cousin's house in another county to be able to use their Wi-Fi because they don't have a connection at home. We know that these issues are there, and we should be prepared as a state to take this head on. Now, we've had a lot of progress, and I want to say a special thank you to Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann and Speaker Gunn, Senator Joel Carter, Representative Scott Bounds for helping pass a grant program, and we actually just announced those grants this week that will help fund broadband access in some of our most rural communities in Mississippi that don't have any access whatsoever. And I want to thank them for their work on that, but we cannot let this issue die just with the pandemic, because we are going to have a world in which we'll never be less connected. The children that are going to graduate this coming spring in 2021 will never enter a world that's going to be less complicated or less connected. They are going to enter a more complex world, and every succeeding generation thereafter. We've got to be prepared for that. This is one area that the state of Mississippi can leapfrog other states in this union in the area of economic development, of telehealth, of telemedicine, of distance education. And right now, because of the efforts of many of you who are watching and the work that we've done together with the legislature over the past couple of years, we have the largest build out of fiber optic broadband access geographically by acre of any state in the United States of America. But we still have too many of our 82 counties, too many of our rural communities that are disconnected. We know that this issue must be addressed, and I am standing here today and will continue to be willing to work with members of both parties, both chambers of the legislature, all three branches of government if need be, to try to make sure that we fix this problem in Mississippi and allow our children the chance to participate in the modern economy. This is the electricity of the 21st century, make no mistake about it. Not having a connection to high-speed internet service is holding many of our people back. Mississippi ranks in the bottom of many categories when it comes to access. We have to get this problem fixed. It's just that simple. And again, we need no further evidence to know that in fact we do have a problem. I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied that rural Mississippians have to drive to McDonald's to do homework. I'm not satisfied that our rural communities are drying up. They're drying up because of the tail lights that are going to Nashville, Tennessee and Atlanta as our young people continue to leave the state of Mississippi. We've got to do something about that. Now, high-speed internet service isn't going to be the silver bullet that fixes every one of those issues, but we do know this. We do know that this issue and the issue of lack of service is holding our people back. You can work anywhere you want to work, anywhere you want to work if you have a connection to the outside world. And we've got to figure out in this state whether we want to get on the train, off the train, or have the modern economy, the train of the modern economy, run over us. I'm committed to making sure that we try to fix this problem, and we continue to push ahead with policies that actually gets the job done and rewards those who go out and actually deliver service to those who need it most. I got kicked off on this idea several years ago when I was at a town hall meeting in French Camp, small town that y'all know of up off the Natchez Trace in Choctaw County. And a lady came to me, and I've thought about this story every time that we've had a battle to try to pass broadband funding or to try to get legislation passed or just simply to try to encourage providers to go out. I had a town hall meeting up in French Camp. A lady came up to me afterwards. She was a single mother. Her husband had just deserted the family. She had, I think, 3 children. One was just an infant, maybe 8 or 9 months old. And she wanted to be a licensed practical nurse, an LPN. And she wanted to go to the local community college and get that certification, get that degree behind her. She could not go sit in a traditional classroom. She had to take care of a child, but she wanted to do it online. And she had to go and sit outside the local library to do her homework. She had to, when it was raining, sit in the car. When it was cold, she had to bring a blanket and a coat. That is not the future we want for the people of Mississippi. We know that the world is becoming more and more complex. And if we want to see our citizens, like that single mother in Choctaw County, succeed, we've got to give them the tools to succeed. We cannot stick our head in the sand and hope that some Santa Claus in Washington is going to come and fix this problem for us. We've got to fix it as Mississippians. And again, I want to say a special thank you to our Lieutenant Governor, Delbert Hosemann, to Speaker Gunn, to Senator Joel Carter, and Representative Scott Bounds. 4 men, 4 leaders who spent extra time and extra effort to make sure that we had a funding proposal within the legislature in the last month that would actually address this problem in a meaningful, very meaningful way. All 82 counties in this state are special and unique. We know the problems of our state. We've been, unfortunately, many of us grew up hearing the problems that Mississippi's had economically, the issues that we have had when it comes to poverty. My question is, what are we going to do about it? You know, I'm tired as a Mississippian of sitting around telling ain't it awful stories. Ain't it awful that we rank in the bottom in this country to access to high-speed internet service? Ain't it awful that we are losing young people in many studies at the fastest rate of any state in the United States of America? I'm tired of telling those stories, and the Mississippians that I talk to are tired of telling them too. They're tired of their children hearing them. Mississippi, because of our people, because of our work ethic, because of what's ingrained in all of us, in all 82 counties. We're a state that's too rich to be poor. And we've got to take our assets and our infrastructure and our people and put that to work for a better day for the children that are coming through this pandemic in a school system and a distance learning system they never dreamed of or their parents ever dreamed of. We can do this together, but it's going to be all of us in our roles, wherever we are, to do our part where we are to advance the interest of the people of Mississippi. I appreciate y'all politics for allowing me to come on today for a few minutes to talk with you statewide about this issue. I want to say to all of you, please stay safe, wear your mask, keep your family safe. We're going to get through this thing together. We're going to look back in years to come and say this was our state's finest hour because we came together. Thank you, and God bless Mississippi.